Ladies and gentlemen, good day to all. Once again, you are welcome. Here on the platform of Awakening of Consciousness. So it's making international headlines. It's very, very hot regarding the former Congolese president, Joseph Kabila. We know a few days ago, we all learned about the triumphant return of Joseph Kabila to Congolese territory. And before returning, in fact, he had announced on social media that the worst should be feared. There is danger in the house. He had announced that he would be returning soon. And sometime later, he was seen in Goma. So, the images circulated. And that's how, sometime later, the information came out that Joseph Kabila decided to take the lead of all armed movements and all rebel groups in the east of the DRC. These are pieces of information that we have seen on social media. So, a situation that causes concern and has pushed the Tshisekedi government to make a decision or a set of decisions that are putting Joseph Kabila against the wall. So, what is happening? The government, particularly the Ministry of the Interior, has issued several decrees. And these decrees that have been issued are also leading to the opening of legal proceedings against Joseph Kabila. And this will eventually lead to the seizure of his assets even before the trial concludes. And so, here is a situation that Joseph Kabila's party completely rejects and believes there is a manipulation of the Congolese justice system. And regarding this situation, Moise Katumbi also speaks out, one of the influential figures in the country. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this video conference, this is, of course, what we are going to discuss. But obviously, before continuing, I ask you to share this video conference in all possible groups and especially give it a lot of likes. There you go. So, the government is also taking its time against former President Joseph Kabila and his close associates. What needs to be said is that the Congolese government has announced the suspension of activities of its political party, the PPRD. The activities of this party are suspended throughout the entire national territory. This is a fact that greatly upsets the members of his party, the activists and supporters of Joseph Kabila's party, who do not agree with it. In reality, all of this is linked to his return to clandestinity in the DRC and then his intentions to destabilize the DRC. That's why the government is making this decision. But there are many who say no. Why is the government basing such decisions on rumors from social media? And then we have one of the government officials who spoke up to say that obviously Congo is a state and the Congolese state has its services, notably its intelligence services. The Congolese state has its services that collaborate with neighboring countries, other countries, in terms of information exchange. Countries that are capable of telling the Congolese state, here on such a day, such a Congolese citizen is moving from this place to that place. So, the Congolese government is uncompromising and uncompromising. The Congolese government says that it is based on real facts that the government is making this decision or these decisions. It is not following rumors on social media. Obviously, what does not exist cannot have an echo on the networks. Today, the world has become a global village thanks to the internet. As soon as Joseph Kabila enters, there are even some who have taken images of his motorcade. Some have photographed him as well. As soon as he enters, people automatically take out their smartphones. You just need to click and there you go. You have a photo. And calmly, you can put it online. So today, information is much more decentralized. We can't hide anything. And the world won't rise to announce something, broadcast on social networks, unless it is true. Since even those who broadcast on social networks are not necessarily people who work for the government. These are free citizens who, moreover, are surprised to see him return in a clandestine manner. On the other hand, there are others who posted these images and are very happy about his return, as he was their president and also their idol. So many are happy to see him come back. In this joy, they take pictures and then post them. In either case, there are always situations where one can see why people post these images. So, severe decisions are being made against Joseph Kabila. I believe that several trials are set to open concerning him and his close associates. But before that, several ministerial orders have already been signed by the Minister of the Interior to formalize the suspension of the activities of Joseph Kabila's PPRD party across the entire national territory. The competent prosecutor's office will have to make a decision within 15 days on each of the cases. So, there will be an appeal. There you go. If they want to appeal, they can appeal. But the prosecutor's office will have to make a decision. So, according to government sources, Kabila is bound, or by obligations, due to his status as a former president. And the government asserts, the government says, we are the state, we are the state, we have our services. He left the country clandestinely and entered clandestinely. Here is the assertion provided by the government. From the Ministry of Justice, it is announced that trials will be initiated in the coming days. The ministry states this: all identified properties, assets, and bank accounts will be subject to seizure. Individuals have been identified. They will not be able to leave Congolese territory until the various trials are completed. Listen, here is the statement made by the Ministry of Justice, the Minister of Justice, Constant Mutamba. So, here is what the government says. But, on the other side, from the side of Joseph Kabila's party, the party completely rejects all the accusations. So there you have it. The People's Party for Reconstruction and Democracy, which broke its silence through a letter addressed to the Ministry of the Interior, completely rejects all the accusations. The PPRD states that it cannot engage in a logic of violence, whether armed or not. The party recalls having always adopted a stance of non-violent resistance for several years. So, in short, the party opposes, and it thus becomes a misunderstanding between the government and Joseph Kabila's party. Whatever happens, we will continue to follow this news. Everything that results from it, we will come back to discuss here on the platform of Awakening of Consciousness. So thank you to everyone. I will be back shortly with new updates. This was the voice of your one and only samurai.